Hi, welcome everybody to a new presentation of Dive and Travel. Today we travel all over the world to Indonesia, to the beautiful Raja Ampat. And we have as a guest Debbie from Coralia Liveaboard. Hi Debbie.
Hi.
How are you doing?
Very good, thank you.
Good to have you on this presentation. We're going to talk about the Coralia Liveaboard, connected to Papua Explorers Organization or Papua Explorers Resort. And you are going to tell us about the boat, about the itineraries, what people can expect when doing a holiday on board Coralia.
Yes.
Can you tell me a little bit about the history of Coralia and the story behind the vessel?
Yes, so as you said, the boat is owned by the same people as Papua Explorers Resort. The boat was built in South Sulawesi. The construction started in 2016. And she was finished in late 2018, so just about 2 years. Our first trip was in February 2019. So we've been running just coming up to 2 years now. The boat, it's a panisi. That's actually the style of rigging. It's not the shape of the boat, it's the style of the rigging. So a panisi has 2 masts and normally 7 to 8 sails. And that's actually, it's a very, very traditional style boat, all wood, super beautiful. The name Coralia, that comes from the word coral. And then the ia that at the end is like, like countries like Britannia, Italia, Alemania, that means nation. So the name of the boat means nation of corals, Coralia.
No, that's a beautiful name. Hey, can you tell me a little bit about the boat in general, the length, the beam?
Yes, sure. So she's 48 meters long and just over 9 meters wide at the widest point, which is actually about here where I'm sitting. This is in the restaurant area. We have 2 engines. The normal design of these boats, they only normally have 1 engine, but the owners decided to put a second engine basically for safety as a backup engine in case the main engine fails. We have on the main deck, we have a camera room, which is actually my favorite part of the boat because I'm a keen photographer. So I was super happy to be on a boat with a dedicated camera room. It's a lovely space for the photographers. And then also on the main deck is the restaurant. And we have a beautiful big bow area with sofas and another place to eat where we can dine outside. Then we have the next deck, the top deck, which also has outdoor dining and sofa area. And then we even have another deck, which we call the sky deck, which is where you can hang out and do some sunbathing. It's beautiful up there. Nice and high, you get a lovely view.
Hey,
yeah, we're self-sufficient on the boat, so have I lost you?
You're still here.
What's the signal doing? Oh, okay, sorry. The boat's self-sufficient, so we have water makers. We make our own fresh water, and we have 2 bower compressors and a nitrox membrane system. The technical stuff is all there ready to go. And then we have 22 crew members, which includes myself and my husband. We're the cruise directors.
If people doing a liveaboard in Raja Ampat, why should they do a liveaboard and not do a resort stay?
Well, both are great options, of course. And a liveaboard can take you, what a liveaboard does, it can take you further away to the further away dive spots. And on a trip, like for example, in Raja Ampat, you could visit all the way down to the south in Mosul and all the way up to the north in Wayag in just one trip. Also, there's destinations that we go to that you can't reach by liveaboard. So places like the Forgotten Islands, can't reach with resorts. So yeah. The Forgotten Islands, there's no resorts out there, so you can only do it with liveaboard. So in those cases, of course, that's your only choice for a liveaboard. The best thing about us is that you could also combine a liveaboard trip with a resort stay if you wanted to try both, or see different parts of Raja Ampat with different perspectives, then you can also do that here in Raja Ampat.
Yeah, so then people combine the stay with Papua Explorers Resort with a combination with an extension or a pre-trip on board Coralia.
Exactly.
Can you tell me a little bit about the cabin types on board Coralia?
Yes, so we have 8 cabins on board. There's 4 master cabins and 4 lower deck cabins. All cabins running along with the coral theme, that the cabins are named after corals. So the master cabins are named after soft corals and the lower deck cabins are named after hard corals. And we always tell our guests, if you'd like to see your cabin coral, we can show it to you during a dive. The master cabins there on the main deck and the upper deck, they have all of the cabins have ensuite bathrooms, and the master cabins also have their own private balcony. Then the lower deck cabins, we have 2 cabins with double beds, and they also have a single bed, a full single bed. It's not a sofa, it's a full single, so you can make that a twin cabin. And then we have 2 twin cabins. So total 4 cabins on the lower deck, also with ensuite.
Sounds good. And which trips does Coralia do out of Sorong or out of the resort? Because the boat is actually leaving from Papua Explorers.
Yes, it depends on the itinerary, of course, but at the moment we depart in and out of the resort. So the benefit the guests get, that you get straight out into Raja Ampat, because even though the resort speedboats, you know, they get you here in an hour and a half, but the big boat takes 6-7 hours to get here.
Yeah.
So we run the trips. So we do Mosul trips, which is the south of Raja Ampat. We go to the central part, and we also go all the way up to the north to Wayag. But in general, Coralia, we go all over Indonesia, actually. This year, we will be going to Komodo and Alor, and also to the Forgotten Islands, which is in the Banda Sea. Next year, we're doing a really exciting itinerary in Halmahera, and actually those trips start and finish in Lembe, so pretty cool. You get to do some muck diving in those trips
so the boat is also leaving Raja Ampat a little bit, doing Alor, doing Halmahera, yeah, beautiful areas, and of course the Forgotten Islands. Yeah, that's a trip anybody should do.
That's a real adventure, that one.
yeah, that's a real adventure. Hey, we have a very nice video of the Coralia. Shall we take a look at it?
Sure.
Whoa, yeah, that looks really impressive. Oh, it's time for me to travel all the way up to Indonesia again. What is a typical day at Coralia looks like?
So on the diving side, actually a well-known saying, I think probably in resorts too, but especially in liveaboards, it's all about dive, eat, relax, and repeat. So we normally wake you up at about 6:37 in the morning for a dive at 7:38. It really depends on the itinerary of how many dives we're doing, if we're doing a tour or something. But yeah, usually first dive 7:38, second dive is 10:30, 11, something like that. Third dive is at 2:30 or 3 o'clock. And then we do either a night dive or a sunset dive. We have a maximum dive time of 70 minutes, which I think is quite generous. And many places I've been, they limit you more than that. But in fact, we even say to people, if you want to stay longer, we're happy with that, because a lot of the diving here, especially in Raja Ampat, it's so shallow. People might be coming up with lots of air and like, I want to stay a bit longer. So we say maximum 70 minutes, but sometimes we stay a bit longer. We have night shocks on the boat, and that's free of charge. There's no extra charge for night shocks. And we have 4 local dive guides. So with a boat with 16 guests, then there would be 4 groups of 4 people. Yeah,
yeah. And how many dives are made during the day? Is it 2 in the morning, 2 in the afternoon?
Yeah, it's normally 4 dives a day. Yeah, yeah. That's the full day.
And
yes.
Are night dives done during the week?
Yes, we do night dives. It just really depends on the area. Some places there's just really amazing night dives, so for sure we include a night dive. But other places where there's not, maybe the night dives aren't so exciting, or there's a really good spot for a sunset dive, then we include a sunset dive. But yeah, for sure, normally on a trip we do 2, 3, 4 night dives depending on the length of the trip.
Perfect. Hey, what about the food on Coralia? Coralia is an upscale liveaboard. What can clients expect food-wise?
Well, of course, the food is most important. I always say to people when they talk about their dive holidays, if you listen to people talking, they say the first thing they talk about is the food. It's not even the diving. So we have an excellent chef. He, in fact, was a chef at the resort near the beginning of the resort too. So we've kept it in the family. And so the food is buffet style, and there's lots of it. In the first thing in the morning, there's a small breakfast when you first wake up, so you can have fruit and yogurt and toast, things like that. And then after the first dive, we have what we call big breakfast. So there's eggs to order. You can order what egg you would like. And there's a buffet with all sorts of yummy breakfast things, especially our famous freshly baked donuts. They become very famous very quickly, really delicious after a nice morning dive. Then we have lunch, which again, it's a mix of Indonesian food, Western food. You know, sometimes we have French fries, sometimes we have a nice curry, but there's always a good selection. So most people are happy, lots of vegetables and salads and stuff like that as well. And in the afternoon, after the third dive, we have snacks. And then we have dinner in the evening after the night dive or the sunset dive. And at least once a trip, we try and have a barbecue. So we have a barbecue out on deck. That's a really nice evening.
And is the dinner a set dinner, or is it kind of a la carte style, or is it a buffet?
No, we'd have buffet. Buffet for
buffet
the...
as well. Okay. Yeah, perfect. I cannot imagine, but probably some people want to do excursions. So no diving, but do some land trips. Which excursions are possible if the boat is in the Raja Ampat area? Because every area is different, but let's talk about the Raja Ampat area.
So I've got some photos to share with you if you'd like to have a look. I actually put this photo in just because it's a beautiful beach and shows the kind of beach that you might be able to visit. So anytime guests want to go to the beach, we're not just diving, we can do snorkeling on the boat. We've even had many guests before that just come along for the rides. Either the other half is not a diver.
Diving, yeah.
Yeah, so that's a perfect example of a beach that you can visit. This is the viewpoint up in Wayag. That's in the very north of Raja Ampat. So it looks kind of scary. It's a bit of a crazy walk, but you go to the very top of that little mountain there on the left side, and that's the view you can get from
Amazing.
the top there. That's the Coralia sitting in the bay in Wayag. We usually go up early in the morning before we go diving, so it's not quite so hot. And then this is the other very famous viewpoint. So even if you join a trip that you don't go all the way to the north, then we go to Penamu, or they're also known as the Fam Islands. And here it's a much friendlier walk. It's steps, wooden steps up to the top, and there you get this view from the top. Very beautiful. And this one is a special one. Not many people visit this place. It's called the Love Lagoon. This is down in Missoul, and so this is a nice good walk up some steps. But yeah, this is just to show you the kind of area. That's Coralia in the background there. But
postcard pictures. Hey, why should people choose Coralia Liveaboard over another boat? What's the pro of Coralia?
So first of all, without kind of blowing our own boat here, my husband and I, we're the cruise directors, and we've been cruising the Indonesian waters for 14 years now. So we know the area very well, very experienced with anything that can happen, anything that we need to know, and of course all the best places to visit. So definitely you're getting our experience and you know, that side of things by joining us on the boat. But we also, for me, she's a very, very comfortable boat. I'm sitting now in the restaurant area, which is with air conditioning, big comfy sofas all over the place. There's a lot of deck area, really very comfortable for just generally relaxing between your dives, and very professional crew on board. So yeah, she's big and beautiful and comfortable.
Yeah, so you mean quality-wise, the experience for you as the cruise managers, and comfort and size of the boat. There's enough space.
Yes, lots of space.
Yeah. You already did a lot of trips in Indonesia. You just told us. If you can do one trip, just a holiday, which one would you choose?
It's got to be Raja Ampat.
Yeah.
Anywhere in
because of the biodiversity, difference of dive sites. Yeah.
Absolutely. I mean, you can't beat it. It really is, you know, not just because I work here and we work on a boat here, but it really is some of the best diving in the world. The diversity of the things that you can see here is you won't match it anywhere else. So yeah, I would definitely say Raja Ampat with things that you can see and the beauty of it. People might say to you, oh, you should go because the corals are beautiful, and then you're probably a bit suspicious about that, but really you've never seen anything like it. Every single piece of rock is covered in corals, and then fish everywhere.
That's what I like. You don't need to swim for hundreds of meters.
No.
Just take a piece of coral, relax, and it's really impressive. Coral wise, fish wise, current, no current, excursion wise, birding, walking, you can do everything. Yeah,
you can.
Amazing. Debbie, I want to thank you for this presentation and giving us a peek inside your vessel, the one you manage on a day-to-day basis. Thanks again. Regards to Jerry, and hope to meet you soon again.
Thank you very much, Sander.
Bye-bye.